Hello.
Hi, Rebecca, it's Beatrice.
Hi, Beatrice. It's Rebecca. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, sun's finally coming out.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I've got some more woolly jumpers to wash before I can put them away. I did
The
keep some out.
finale wash.
Yeah, I had to keep some out. Maybe I finally can lay to rest for a while my hot water bottle, which has still been in
Oh my
use.
goodness, that's a major event of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, I'm quite excited at the thought of getting my sandals out.
That's true. I've swapped over a few things, and then when it kept being cold, I stopped. But I never got to the shoes. That's true. That's something
No,
to
I
look
haven't
forward
really
to.
done anything, which is unusual because, as you know, I usually do it in April and then freeze for a few weeks.
Mm,
But this year I kind of couldn't face the freezingness.
yeah.
So I'm still in cashmere sweaters, I'm afraid.
Mm,
Until I want an absolute guarantee of heat before I
no,
completely
you're
swap
right.
this year. I'm not messing about.
You don't need to tell me this, but I'll ask. How do you keep your shoes? Do you
How
have a
do I
special?
want my shoes?
How do you keep them? Do you have special boxes?
Well, the ones that are the current season,
Mm-hmm.
I have a rack inside my wardrobe
Mm-hmm.
that I put them on. The ones that aren't, if they are delicate, they have tissue paper and a stuffed, and they're in shoe bags, and then they're in my garment bags that have all the wrong season clothes are packed in.
Ah, okay. Because I keep them in, old shoe boxes, and I keep thinking, should I invest in
I
some
mean, that would
proper
be great. If
boxes?
I had space, I would
Yeah.
absolutely do that, but I have no space to do that.
Yeah.
So I think go for it. And I'm sure that would be an exciting research project, finding gorgeous shoe boxes.
That's true. Because at first I thought I used sort of see-through ones, but see-through is no good. It's not good for the shoes, so it has to be. I don't think I'll go as far as taking a Polaroid and stick it on the box. Although if I had actually that could be quite nice, couldn't it?
Well, I was going to say, actually, I think you should take a
Yeah.
Polaroid.
I still have a
That would be
Polaroid
nice.
camera hanging around
Oh, you
somewhere.
do?
Yeah.
And can you get the film for it easily?
I'm not sure. That I don't know. Well, I've got a few more projects now. Just talking to
Okay,
you
well,
very
that's a
briefly.
good start to the day, isn't
Yes.
it? There's both the shoe boxes and the
The Polaroid
documenting of the
situation.
shoes
Yeah.
and the Polaroid. Oh, I love Polaroids.
Oh, me too.
They're so good.
And what
But
have you been doing?
Well, I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
that Archivist Addendum has come out, so I'm very excited.
That is very
And
exciting.
so it looks lovely. So this is Jane, Howard, and Dal Choda, who were part of the Fashion Interpretations project.
Mm-hmm.
It's the new, I'm going to call it a magazine for now, but then I'll explain.
Okay.
The magazine that they've launched, Archivist Addendum, and it's the first edition, which is mostly devoted to the fashion interpretations team. So it's everything we produced, each of us produced for the project on medium and meaning in fashion. And so it's exciting because now the work we did has become yet another medium.
Yes.
And the magazine, again, going to explain in a second, is really also a kind of meditation on medium and the way you interact.
Before we continue, I have a question. What does actually addendum mean?
Well, I think officially it's like sort of added material that you would have at the end of a book or a publication.
Oh, a bit like an appendix.
But they used to run Archivist magazine. So this is like the next stage in the evolution.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so I'm doing this live, bitch.
Okay.
This is live.
Yeah.
Even though you can't see.
Mm-hmm. What is it you're doing?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
This is where we come to the is it a magazine, what is it question. Because it comes in a beautiful, very slim archive book. So it's like lovely pale cardboard material, right?
Wow.
But then it's got a luxury element to that minimalism because it says Archivist Addendum on the spine. So a bit like a book, but it's not a book, it's a box. And then it has all our names, all the contributors' names in gold on the top, which is very posh and shiny. So already you're intrigued.
Yes, you are intrigued.
You're intrigued.
So you're doing an unboxing.
I'm unboxing live.
You're doing an unboxing. That's amazing.
I'm unboxing live, yeah. I don't know how well it will work over a phone conversation. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah, and you're very good at describing things, so it'll be fine.
Well, let's test me. Let's see if I can do it. And it's fun because it's lots of different things on different kinds of paper and formats. So it's keeping you thinking about medium and how you interact. And it's also really rather nice because after everything of the last, what feels like 800 years of not being able to touch stuff, it's really nice because it's really, you have to delve into the box and find things. So first we have a piece of pink paper, which has the credits and the preface written by wonderful Judith Clark, which is lovely. So you have that to read.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? Because you have a little sweet package of postcards tied together. And this is a postcard of each of the drawings that Richard Haynes did for the project. So it's really lovely. There's like the photograph he took of Christian Berard's door at Guerlain, and then his drawing of that. And there's his drawing of the Schiaparelli tear dress, for example. So there's the things that he did looking at 30s fashion drawing to think what happens when you do that on an iPad with this distance of time. And then you also have his lovely drawings of, for example, Christopher John Rogers' contemporary collection. So thinking about time and medium and representation.
Yeah.
And so you have your little pack of postcards.
And you said it was tied together.
Yes, there's a nice little strip of paper that's got, I think it's a little washi tape together.
How nice.
It's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's really lovely. And then the next thing is like a little booklet that's slightly shiny paper.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like its own little booklet, which is Leanne Shapton's watercolours. Do you remember she did?
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah,
that was
lovely.
So good.
Yeah, it's called Certain Old Things. So it's a little booklet where it's the watercolours she painted, inspired by people's photographs of their clothes to sell on like Vestiaire and places like that. And then actually mine has got all tucked in together. So that's really like, it's very tactile and it's really nice because you're sort of going from one kind of
surface
paper to another.
Yeah. And maybe you said that, sorry if I missed it. How big is the box?
The box is
like in terms
A4.
A4, okay.
A4-ish. And then you've got the postcards size. And then Leanne's is probably A5-ish. And it's also got a lovely little, very textured-y piece of paper that shows you the source material. So it shows you photographs of the things that she's painted. So within that, you've got different colours and different feels of paper. So that's very lovely. Now we have one which mentions someone I've never heard of called Beatrice Baylor.
Ooh.
Oh la la, everybody.
Oh la la.
Yes, so you've got like a business card with a gold paperclip which clips together lovely tactile photographs of the Black Archive.
Oh, how great.
It's really nice. And on the back of each photograph is a sticker that tells you what it is. Which is really lovely. So it's like so you get a sense of kind of personality and difference for each.
Yeah.
It's like a mini project, but they're all interconnected. And then we have the first of the academic essays, because I think that's another really exciting thing about this, is it's not just contemporary fashion, it's bringing together sort of fashion journalism, fashion writing of different kinds, and art historical writing. So you've got on kind of a bit like kind of rather nice, sort of slightly off-white photocopy paper, but nice. You've got Roman Kurtzmeyer's article on A.B. Warburg exhibiting thinking, which is very beautiful. And it's got a nice little gold corner thingy holding it together. So that's very beautiful and very deep and meaningful.
Yeah.
Then we have my lovely friend Liz Kutesco on Everyday Fashions, Urban Modernities and Unpolished Photographs. And that was, do you remember she looked at Claude Lévi-Strauss's Sao Paulo photographs from the 30s?
Yes.
So that's got a silver stapler holding it together and is white paper. So again, a different feel. Are you enjoying my description?
I'm very much enjoying it. I can really picture it. I'm picturing a box that is getting emptier and then a little pile on the side. Am I picturing correctly? Yeah.
Yes. And then we've got lovely Charles Tepperman, and he looked at Kodachrome mid-century amateur film,
I remember.
which is so beautiful. And so this is like a nice textured-y feel paper. And this is, like the little hole you get when you have one of those stapleless staplers?
Oh, yes.
That's what we have holding his together. And it's got lovely colour images from the films, which are just so beautiful. And the ones that I liked in particular, which were of Chinese Americans and festivals and Japanese American festivals. So that's fabulous. Then we have lovely Olga Weinstein, and she is again white paper with a silver staple, and that's her writing on Little Lord Fauntleroy.
Oh yes.
And gorgeous illustrations, and everything's very beautifully laid out in lovely fonts and all that sort of business. So there's lots of things to look at, to feel, and to read. And then we have Judith Clark in conversation with Roman Kurtzmeyer. So that's an interview. So that's, well, not an interview, a conversation. And then with stills from the film. Do you remember we showed the film, the beautiful film that they made about Atelier Amden? Yes. So that. Then we have me, Rebecca Arnold. In case you forgot.
Yeah.
And my article on Man Ray and 1930s kind of hybrid imagery. And I'm on white paper with a silver clip. And then we have the amazing Lisa Cohen. And now hers is on slightly heavier paper. And each story, because you remember she talked about, she interviewed people about specific garments and really moving, beautiful. So you've got one, it's hard to get them out because it's quite a tight box, 2, 3 of her stories about specific garments. And how people
they are
felt about them.
separate or...
Yes, each one is on a separate piece of paper. And as I say, it's like thicker, heavier, smoother paper. And then we have Judith Clark, who wrote on the Madame de Genlis and Judgment of Paris. And hers is a proper photocopy. So hers has got, like, you can see the black edges, and it smells of photocopies. That's so funny. I suddenly got that smell from the box. That's really funny. And that's got a white clip on it and has beautiful illustrations of attributes. Then, this is exciting. I'm really having to test my abilities with one hand, Beatrice, because wonderful Alyssa de Vingard. Do you remember hers was about doing an exhibition when you don't have a museum, and so hers is a poster. So there's a big fold-out poster that I'm just folding out right now. That is a photograph of her wall, which is her mapping out a whole exhibition on her wall.
Yeah, that looks so nice.
All the pictures she's taped up and headings and little notes as a big poster. And that is so lovely. And there's a piece of paper inside the poster that falls out when you unwrap the poster that has an explanation of what that is and what she's doing. So it's really gorgeous. And then we have some lovely, like, wax paper. And it's a wax paper bag. Hang on, I'm going to need both hands for this because it's heavy. Okay, I'm back. And this is photograph prints. Let me just get to the bottom. Of Jane styled the A.F. van der Vorst archive, because they sort of stopped designing, and I think they've sold the archive now, or it's not together anymore. And so Dahl and Jane, I think right before the first lockdown, did this photo shoot with Sophie Middennacht and Martin Alexander, and it's really beautiful. So you've got each print is separate of each shot that they did for this shoot on the archive.
And
It's
the bag
really
sounds
beautiful.
very interesting.
It's wonderful. And again, you're suddenly in completely, it smells different again, and it feels different. It's heavier weight because it's prints of each of the photographs, and there's the sticker on the back that tells you what it is. And that's the end.
Wow. That sounded amazing. That was a very good unboxing.
Thank you.
And I didn't expect smells.
I know, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So that's very good. That's another medium.
It is. And sounds, because can you hear the crackly paper? Yeah, it's really amazing. And it is like, it's a journey. I hate it when people say things are a journey.
Yeah.
But it's a journey.
This is, yeah.
This truly is. This is a fashion journey for both of us.
Yeah, that sounds really great. That sounds
It really
lovely.
is. It's wonderful. And it's really sort of lovely. You know, I would love it even if it didn't have anything to do with the project that we did. You know what I mean? But it's sort of extra special because it's seeing how they interpreted each person's work and how they've kind of turned it into an object, how they've turned, you know, because one of the things I think we all really loved about the Fashion Interpretations project was getting to talk to each other and hearing each other's ideas. And it's sort of really interesting how those Zoom meetings have turned into this, you know? And I think for me and probably the other people who were involved, it's really poignant that this is kind of what we did over lockdown.
Yes, true.
That this is what we produced. So I think it's a really beautiful thing, and I think Jane and Dal have done an amazing job. Like, they've really created something very unique and very beautiful. And yes, this is why it's not a magazine, it's a publication. But but then if you say a publication, what does that mean?
Yeah, true. I guess it's its own archive as well.
It's its own archive. Yes, good point. It is its own archive. And there's only 150 of these have been made.
Wow, I can't wait to see that. I want to see everything, but I'm particularly intrigued by what they've done with the black clothes.
Yes, of course, because tell me again what that was.
So the company, I think they stopped working in 2012 or something like that. And then we were contacted and asked whether we want to take some of the archive. And there was still a lot of stuff. And I went there and had a look at everything, and it was really hard. I just found it almost impossible to decide. But anyway, in the end, we took quite a lot of objects. I think we so really kindly, Aaron Sharif, it was Aaron Sharif and Sachiko Okada. And Aaron Sachiko, I think, is now, you know, not in London anymore. But he had all the objects, and then he sort of put outfits together. And I love their stuff because it's so, a lot of stuff that's happening now is they've done, you know, they had sort of gender fluid clothing and showing men and women together, and they're really innovative with what they used to do with fabrics. They used to, you know, dye stuff and then boil it, and, you know, they did often stuff where they didn't know how things would come out. Sort of experiment. Anyway, I could talk about it forever, but before... Because, you know, when we take things, they will never be worn again. That's it.
Yes.
So, and I knew that Dal and Jane are interested in these sort of archives, so I contacted them, and then they did the shoot before the stuff came to us. And I'm not sure, you know, I don't know what they've used. So in some ways it might not even sort of connect so much to what we ended up taking, but it doesn't matter. It's just nice that after, you know, it's like 10 years ago that they stopped their label. It's so nice that something is being done with it now.
It's really lovely. No, it's really lovely. And yes, as you say, I think Jane is particularly interested in styling clothes that are kind of out of circulation. And it's so interesting, and it's so great that you told them that you gave them that moment where it was like a collection in transition.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. No, it's so lovely, and it was an exciting week because that came out, and then we also had the launch for the book series I edit with Bloomsbury Courtauld book series, and Alison Topless's wonderful book, The Hidden History of the Smock Frock, came out. So it was really nice because it felt like all these things that, well, in the case of the book series that I've been planning for years, have suddenly become actual material things that you can show someone.
Yeah, and the book is so nice, and I really enjoyed. I really thought our talk was so interesting. There were lots of things that came up.
It's like she's so good at giving talks, and it's such an amazing subject. Like, as soon as she told me about it, I was like, Alison, you have to write a book. This is so exciting. And it's so engaging. It's just such a fantastic subject, and it takes you in directions you really hadn't expected.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's so refreshing to have something that focuses on working class menswear in such an amazing way. And I love like how you go from that to like a kind of fantasized idyll of rural life to like children's clothes to the land army to Molly Goddard. It's such a mad.
It's another journey.
It's another journey.
Yeah.
It's really great, and it's just exciting. It's exciting to see her work, to see the book, and that's fantastic. And it's really exciting that the series has now launched as well.
Yeah. So when are the next ones coming out?
I think Lucy's book is next, which is later this year.
Later this year,
so the series, I should tell you, the series is called Fashion, Visual and Material Interconnection.
Oh,
yeah. So Lucy's will come out next, I think, so towards the end of this year.
Okay.
And hers is on fashion, art and violence in the interwar period, and is really fascinating for thinking about the different ways that violence was expressed through fashion and fashion representation in that period. So she looks at a lot of Schiaparelli, but also, you know, like Cecil Beaton drawings where the head of the model is removed, and these really kind of quite violent things. So that's fantastic. Then I think probably end of this year, beginning of next year is Alexis Romano, and hers is on the development of Pret-a-Porter in Paris, in France. And that's really fascinating because, again, it's something that you think you know about, but you don't actually know anything until you read the book. And it starts much earlier than you think in the 50s, and just she's really good at kind of locating it in the history of women in France in that period and how it's interconnected, and that's really good. And then we have one by Tay Smith coming out probably 2023, which is looking at kind of fashion and capitalism and diagrams and marks.
Wow.
Really, really philosophical and amazing. And I've got quite a few that are cooking at the moment. We've got a couple of proposals in. There's about 5 people I've been speaking to who, you know, further down the line. So it's super exciting.
Yes.
It's really exciting for me talking to people, like approaching people whose work I really love, and then having interesting conversations with them, and then a beautiful book appears.
Yes, it is beautiful. That's the other thing.
Yes, I love the design.
Design is really nice.
That was so important to me. And Adriana Brioso did such a beautiful job. I think the series, I can't wait to have lots of them, because I think it's going to be really great.
That's true. Yeah.
All together.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks
Yes.
of things. Because there's always like stages when you're planning things where you think, is this ever going to
happen? Yeah.
And it's just so satisfying and thrilling to see people's work realised.
Yeah, and like you say, after this year of everything so much being virtual, having actual things in your hand is so nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
You'll have to, I'm not sure at what point we're allowed people in our houses, but at whatever point that happens, you'll have to come around and look at
have a look. Yeah, we can do another unboxing.
We can do another unboxing, and you can describe it.
Okay. Well, thank you for this. This is very nice.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you next week. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.